Welcome to the program. Our top story at this hour. Britain's former finance minister Rishi Sunak is all set to take the top job of the country. The first Indian origin premier of the United Kingdom has a rocky road ahead as he inherits an economy that is possibly headed for recession. The outgoing Prime Minister Truss resigned after her budget of cuts on taxes funded by debt sent shockwaves through markets, bringing the pound to a record low and triggered yields on government bonds to soar. The UK government had to take a U-turn on most of its budget, including scaling back a cap on soaring energy bills that have contributed heavily to a cost of living crisis for tens of millions of Britons. Sunak, the former Chancellor of the Exchequer, had warned against the cuts by Liz Truss in the previous battle for Premier's seat. He was proven right as the budget sent the pound crashing close to parity with the dollar. The former finance minister had also promised to scrap VAT on household fuel bills for a year to tackle the rising cost of living. The Tory leader, who prioritized controlling inflation in his economic policies, is getting mixed responses from the United Kingdom citizens.
Someone who's been educated in Harvard knows exactly what he's doing. You know, it's the absolutely only choice. Instead of just going for, like a lot of the politicians in the road just want to be a politician in their own interest. I think he has a genuine interest in the welfare of this country.
He's a low-tax, trickle-down economist. Won't work. He's got to go. Got to move aside.
Clisman Murati, a strategist, affairs analyst and economist, is now joining us live from London to talk more about this. Clisman, thank you very much for joining us on WION.
Thank you.
What do you foresee as the road ahead for Prime Minister designate? Some are calling on Sunak to, overhaul the cabinet as he begins his first day. Will that be a good idea to start with?
Oh, he's definitely going to have his own plans in mind as to what he wants to achieve, and that's going to require, in what is going to be in his mind, his preferred team. So I wouldn't be surprised if we do see a new cabinet. Perhaps Jeremy Hunt as Chancellor of the Exchequer may stay. We'll see what happens with that. But it's not an unusual thing if we see a new cabinet for sure.
What do you foresee on the new designates, his road ahead?
Well, he's got many challenges ahead of him, and these challenges are very well known. We have definitely within the party a lot of infighting as to what the direction of the party should be, and that goes throughout the history of the party to the election wins that Boris Johnson got, and a new perspective in the Conservative Party as to what the move forward should be. He needs to also regain trust within the British people by putting in responsible policies. He obviously has the energy prices, which are very high right now still, that he has to find ways to bring down, and cost savings in general for the UK public. He has foreign policy pressures, which are currently existing, and new ones which may arise given the situation in China, probably Iran, that he has to focus on coming into the new year. NHS winter pressures naturally are going to be a big thing that he has to focus on. And fundamentally, Eric, he's looking at trying to plug a £40 billion gap in public finances, and he has to find cost savings for that.
Let's talk more about these challenges, Clisman. Some predicted that the new Prime Minister will face some sort of backlash from the Conservatives who supported his opponents Penny and Boris. Do you think this will pose a challenge for the Prime Minister if he faces opposition within his party? And what will it take for him to unify the Conservatives?
Yeah, I don't see why there should be any pushback on him personally, because he was part of Boris Johnson's cabinet. He was a very key player in Boris Johnson's cabinet, and he put forward a lot of policies which helped the British people during that period of crisis during COVID. So it's not as if he's a brand new player with radical ideas that have never been tested before. He's been there. He's done the job as Chancellor, and he's proven himself as a competent leader. So anyone who does want to cause issues within the party is doing so, I don't think, within the public interest and also within the party interest, because, as a fresh candidate and with no real opposition against him, with anyone else who would divide to be leader, and with such support by his party, I think any opposition would be fringe at this moment.
Finally, Clisman, What does Sunak need to do now to restore the United Kingdom's reputation, which has been dented over the past months?
Two things. He needs to instill confidence within the people, within his party, and within markets, and that is done through responsible policies. And that's going to be the key thing that we have to see from him coming for sure within this coming week and within the coming months. So if he can get that right, then I think he will unify his party and he'll find a way to bring the economy forward and to keep it as resilient as possible coming into the new year.
Klizzman Murati, thank you very much for giving us time today and for talking to WION. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.